We'll go back and delete that, right? Yeah.
With authority. Aloha.
Welcome to the most muscleless podcast in various sports. This is ABC7 Sports.
With authority.
Con autoridad.
You look, I like your new look, actually. I think you should go 24/7 with your Lucha Libre mask on.
I think that would be far less jarring for the viewer.
Your wife would certainly approve. Anyway, so what's the deal with your mask? Why are you wearing a Lucha Libre mask?
Well, I will tell that story after our big interview with George Kittle. I'm going to save that
wrestling
for the
fan.
outro. George Kittle, huge wrestling fan. Me, huge wrestling fan. So I thought I would break out my Lucha Libre mask. Un cuerno, because I have one horn missing. The Young Bucks ripped it off. Flashback. Oh, my horn!
Yeah. Uno cuerno. Yes, that would be... Cuerno is horn, and that's the extent of your Espanol.
That is it.
Quite
That's all
certain.
I got.
So, in addition to uno cuerno, we should have the Panda Express here as well, so we could dine, because we had lunch with George Kittle.
Yeah, George Kittle, if you check his Twitter account or any of his social media past, he's a big fan of Panda Express. So we thought it would be cool to bring some Panda Express over, have a little podcast lunch with him, and just do the whole show while checking out Panda Express.
You know what would have been even better? If we had Pablo Sandoval, the Panda himself, there.
At the Rock and Roll Express.
Next, for the next podcast, we'll do that. We'll try to get that all together.
We'll figure that out.
All right. In the meantime, uno cuerno and yours truly. Oh, wait. You got to do your intro.
Oh, yes. Finally, the Kittle has joined the With Authority podcast.
Who is that supposed to be?
The Rock.
But it sounds like Hulk Hogan.
I just put a little extra pizzazz into it because I'm excited for this George Kittle interview.
Okay. It's George Kittle with us, brother. All right, so George, I don't want you to be distracted at all by
The aroma
of all this Panda Express that's here.
It's actually tough.
What? Hey, you can't eat while we're doing this.
I'm already distracted. This is going to be tough.
How about if I just hold this right next to while I ask the questions?
What's up?
You're going to be now you're going to be riveted
That'll
to
make me
everything.
pay attention.
Yeah,
I love it.
So we have to talk a little bit of football, even though I know you want to talk orange chicken. So in college at Iowa, 48 catches for your career.
Yes.
Okay, then you come in as a rookie in the NFL after being drafted in the 5th round, 43 catches, then 88 last year.
Yeah.
At what point in all of this process did the light go on and you realize, oh man, I could be one of the best in the league at this?
Oh, I mean, a lot of it was, in college I always thought I was, could be a really good football player. And I made some life choices, like just decisions. I changed some things I did in college. Grew up a little bit is what I would, let it come down to, and just started making better decisions. And then, got the NFL, and definitely the rookie year, very hard, difficult, whether it's injuries or it's a very dense playbook that Coach Shanahan has. You got to figure out the game. But second year, everything kind of slows down for you, and it is. And it's just, once you get over that rookie hump, you kind of figure out a little bit, and it just kind of goes into this year too. Everything's slowed down a lot. Your understanding of the game expands, and it just becomes a little bit easier for you.
I'm constantly trying to help Casey make better life decisions.
That's tough.
So what were the decisions you made?
I said, hey, I want to be a really good football player, so what is going to help me become the best football player that I want to be? And it wasn't Friday nights. It wasn't staying up late playing video games. It was, hey, what are the things that are going to get me to this? And it was eating right, the calories I intake, sleeping right, the people I surround myself with, and I just made those decisions, and it got me to where I am.
Are you listening to this?
I'm listening to all this. I'm taking copious notes.
I can tell you're right.
Yeah, as I sit here with my honey sesame chicken breast, I'm ready to chow on that for sure.
There's a lot of boxes. I'm excited.
There are a lot of boxes. There's more over there too. We had to bribe you with something to get you to come on the show.
No, I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm pretty excited for this.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
I'm a huge wrestling fan.
Okay.
I know you're a huge wrestling fan.
I
wasn't going to wait to get into the
wrestling.
I love it.
Believe this.
I'm ready.
You were called initially Stone Cold Kittle, possibly by Ted Robinson. I think we could do better.
Oh.
I think we could do better. And I know the people's tight end by The Rock that's about as epic as it's going to get.
I can't change. That's on him.
Why not like George the Animal Kittle? Gorgeous George.
See,
Why don't you go old school?
I let those come to me. I don't pick things. I let people say them, and then I just try to roll with them. It's easier for me. Because I get asked all the time, like, hey, if you were a wrestler, what would your wrestling name be? I have no idea. I think that's just something that comes naturally to you.
Yeah.
So, hey, if you got ideas, throw them out there, and I know that Niners Twitter and the Niners fan base would love to hear them.
I think George the Animal's money.
I like it.
Do you know George the Animal Steele? You know who we're talking about?
That's probably a little before. That's before me.
See, I told
So you got to get on the network. Yeah, that was the debate.
So
no, it's all right.
George the
Yeah.
Animal Steele was kind of a crazy-looking dude, and he would chew the turnbuckle in the corner. He would chew it.
I
And
can
then rip
start
it
that.
to shreds.
I can do that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I don't.
Yeah.
That's kind of the same mindset when I play football. I try to bite all my oven.
Did you bite Aaron Donald? Did you try to take a chunk out of Aaron Donald in the Rams game? No.
I try to do my best just to keep Aaron as happy as possible in games because when he gets angry, he's violent.
So this is a perfect segue because I've seen. Don't look at the notes. You cannot be
I have
looking at
notes.
the notes.
I have notes,
You
too.
have notes also. What are your talking points?
Don't worry about it.
Oh,
You're gonna
You're gonna hear them.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna hear them.
I do love orange chicken. In many ways, I love orange chicken. So you've been quoted, I think, as saying, is creating chaos on the field is your goal, and you're trying to be the most outgoing, craziest person out there.
Yep.
How does that manifest itself while you're on the field?
Oh wow.
This is deep.
Yeah, I mean, because if you talk, right now, I'm very laid back. I like to have a good time. I'm very goofy. But when Sunday comes and we get to play football, it's kind of a different mindset. You got to get yourself into a zone, and I have a couple switches that I flip that kind of get me into this zone, and it's 3 hours of that, and then I get right back out of it. It's definitely it's intense, and just kind of allows me to play football at my best ability.
Does banging your head against a wall?
That's one of my switches. Yeah.
That you flip a switch by banging your head against the wall?
It's one of the few switches I have. Yeah.
How many times?
Oh, just once.
Just once?
Once on the way out. That's all I need.
What are the other switches?
One is the night before on the way to the stadium, I read a letter from my dad every single week.
Yeah, we wanted to ask you about that.
That's one of the first ones. Let's see. Second one, I get a double bag of IV. So just extra fluids, and then the headbutting is definitely the third switch on my way out. There's other small ones I do. Like I have a very strict routine on starting from game night, the night before the game until the game, but I stick to it pretty regularly.
Do you think Casey would be better on the podcast if we hooked him up to 2 IVs right now?
And then hit me in the head.
It's a mindset you got to get in.
Yeah.
You'd probably be slightly more aggressive.
I like that.
You feel good though.
No, I like that.
Yeah, you feel really good. I like it.
How did the letters from your dad start? You mentioned that. I thought that was really cool, and it's a really nice tradition that you have.
Yeah.
So,
it was my dad coached at Oklahoma for 4 or 5 years, and when he was there's a linebacker there, Austin Box, and his dad did the same thing with him since he was a little kid. And so my dad, just because Austin Box was great, he's a team captain, great team player, and so he thought that was good, and he asked me if I would be okay with that. And so we started doing it my redshirt freshman year at Iowa, and they started off at handwritten, and then they kind of they've grown, they've become different things, and now it's because he can't hand them to me anymore, so he sends them to one of our PR guys, and they print it off for me. I get to read it before the game, and it's just really fun because it keeps a way for me to be connected to my dad at all times.
do you keep them all somewhere? Where do you keep them all?
Oh yeah, no, my house back in Tennessee, I have a whole tub full of them. What's nice, so I also have digital copies of all of them in case anything ever happens. So I have them all.
Do the letters motivate you, or do they make you ever cry when you read the letters?
I have, yes. No, my dad, he's a phenomenal writer. He knows, my soft spots, and whether he's trying to teach me a lesson or if he's trying to talk about something, but he always has a message to get a point across. And he does a really good job. He always ties it back into, my family and how proud he is of me and stuff like that. So which, kind of hits all the right notes.
Can you share what he wrote on Sunday?
Oh, wow. He had a really good letter on Sunday. Mostly, he breaks it down from, like a summary of last week into, who we're playing, into a story, and then he ties it back into home. And I think the message was, we're playing the Rams, who have owned the NFC West, and just there's some swear words in there, but it's pretty motivational. And no, it just, like I said, it's the first switch that let me know it's game day, it's time to get going.
Now I know that going to Iowa, obviously you live in Nashville, right?
Yes.
What's it like when you feel an earthquake? I'm assuming you don't get a lot of those.
Yeah, it's weird. Honestly, I lived in Oklahoma for 3 years, and there was an earthquake that I felt in Oklahoma that started in California. So I was like,
yeah,
what's going on? That was kind of weird for me. Honestly, I sleep through them. I haven't really felt anything, so it's pretty awesome.
So we just had.
I slept through that. Yeah. Yeah, I was out cold. I didn't feel a thing. I'm a heavy sleeper. I sleep through. Yeah, I sleep through everything. It's
and
awesome.
you lose weight while you're sleeping. You got to tell us this story because this
Okay.
the George Kittle diet. America needs the George Kittle diet.
Just go to sleep and wake up 8 pounds lighter.
I can't.
It's amazing.
How does that happen? Is your metabolism that crazy fast that you're burning so many calories?
I usually, I wake up, yeah. I couldn't, it's been doing it since, I don't know, I was like 16. I just always lose weight whenever I sleep. So in the mornings, I'm super skinny, and then by the end of the day, I'm 8 pounds heavier, and I look normal again. It's really weird.
This is common, though. This is common, because you remember Tim Lincecum, Giants pitcher. So he used to eat 3 double-doubles, 2 orders of fries, and a milkshake. That was like his post-workout routine.
It's pretty impressive.
And everyone thought it was crazy, but you have to take in all those calories.
Yeah, it is good. Certain athletes, no matter how many calories and stuff you're burning, the calories that you have to intake is pretty bonkers.
How many boxes of this honey sesame chicken breast would you have to eat to maintain weight?
Usually, a double or a triple entree from Panda Express is a very good light dinner for me.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
How'd you become such a big fan? I know that I'm seeing the tweets all the time and
So
stuff.
honestly, it happened back when I was I'd say 8th grade.
Okay.
There was a Panda Express at the mall next to my middle school, and I was like, my buddy was like, hey, you got to get this. I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll try it. And sure enough, I had 2 or 3 double entrees back to back to back of orange chicken. And I was like, hey, this is really good. And so I just got it weekly with one of my buddies, and then I've literally been doing it since 8th grade. And then me and a teammate last year started doing Panda Mondays, and started going on Mondays every single week, and kind of made it a thing, and it kind of clicked with some social media and stuff like that, and it was really fun. And just being able to interact with fans, because it's Panda Express is something that I love, and they're football fans too, is pretty easy for me to talk about.
I like Panda Monday. Yeah,
Panda Monday sounds great.
It was pretty good.
How's it smell, by the way?
Oh, the honey sesame.
Yeah, go ahead. Take the Bible. I think about my next question.
Yeah, we don't want you to lose 8 pounds in between answers, so you might as well try something.
I love honey sesame.
No, we're going to crush this later. I can't wait. I was sitting here smelling it the whole time while we waited to start this
You're not going to
interview.
get this back.
Yeah. We got 8 or 9 of them.
Yeah,
we knew when we were going to have you on, we had to bring a bunch of Panda Express, so we're ready to go.
Did you ever consider playing defense? Because you have kind of a linebacker mentality.
So, it's funny, after my freshman year at Iowa, because coming into college, I was 190 pounds, and I was 6'2". I was very small and undersized. And so after my freshman year, I got up to 210 pounds, but I couldn't really gain any more weight after that. And I was still 6'2". Luckily, I grew 2 inches that offseason, which was nice. But they asked me if I wanted to move to outside linebacker. So they're like, hey, is that something that you'd want to do? Because I was kind of in the it's hard to play tight end in the Big Ten when you're 200 pounds. Because most people
it's hard to do anything in the Big Ten at 200 pounds.
Yeah, it's hard. So they're like, hey, what do you think about linebacker? We could get you to 220. You could just play at that. And then I had a conversation with my dad and my tight ends coach. They're like, hey, we think it's best you just stay at tight end. And pretty glad that I did. Yeah, it's
been all right so far.
It's all right.
But what's interesting, and I've just been reading notes and things, is that you sort of have the linebacker mentality once you catch the football. And it's interesting, the dynamics, because you're going, once you hit the second level, you're going to face guys who are typically smaller than you.
Yeah.
And most people want to try to run away, but your mentality is let's run over people, and that's working.
Trying to run. It's kind of a mindset you develop. What I learned is kind of through my rookie year and then last season, my tight ends coach, John Embry, he always told me, make them tackle you. You don't have to let them tackle you. You don't have to go out of bounds. Make them tackle you and make them feel you. And then once I kind of figured that out, I just kind of run in a straight line at them. They kind of get out of the way sometimes. It's really weird, and it works a lot more than it should. Or either I'm 248 pounds coming at you as fast as I can. It's a large body. I would get out of the way too sometimes.
Would you say that and I don't want you to name now, I'm not trying to get you in trouble here, but there are some guys who are making business decisions down the field?
I'd say some people take creative angles to try to tackle.
Creative angles, as in nowhere near the guy coming at me at 240-something pounds.
That's what my coach always says. They like to take creative angles to try to trip you up from behind. It's helpful too that I'm kind of fast, so sometimes those angles don't work so well.
That's funny.
All right, so on our show, we always like to tell a story. I'm going to tell you one that hopefully leads to a good one from you.
Okay, bring it.
All right, so I'd say top 3 moments in my life.
Okay.
Wedding night, birth of children, WrestleMania at Levi's Stadium. For real.
Okay.
So anyways, I
that.
went and bought this Seth Rollins shirt I'm wearing under here.
Rocking
I wore
it right now.
He lost to Randy Orton. Everyone in my section was ripping me. He cashed in, he won the championship, and then people were offering me like $60 for it off my back. It was amazing.
That was
it was
pretty awesome.
hilarious. But I know you know Seth Rollins.
Yes.
He's a Davenport, Iowa guy. So how do you know him, and like how well do you know him?
It's pretty fun. So one of my teammates at Iowa, he played fullback.
Yeah, here, I'll pop this shirt.
Yeah, let me see. Come on.
Yeah, you go. You answer. I'll
That's a
I'll
nice
get
one.
this shirt out.
That's an old
This
one.
is this is what I wore to Mania.
That's a good one. So fun fact about Mania, that was the first WrestleMania I ever watched live on TV.
Boom.
So that was like that was my first dip into really wrestling. It's a great shirt. But so Seth, so my buddy, he went to Seth Rollins Wrestling School in Davenport, Iowa, Black and Brave. And he was there, and so I didn't really know how, like, Seth is there, like, 3 days a week. It's pretty impressive with his schedule. And so he's like, hey, so he'd been there for, like, 6 months. Like, hey, you should come out and meet him. He's going to be here, like, next Wednesday. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to say no to that. Like, that'd be really cool. And so I go to Davenport with him, and I think I've met up with him 3 or 4 different times while he's there, and it's just been a blast because whether he's coaching or he's talking to me, like, ringside, just like being able to learn the ins and outs of like kind of behind the scenes stuff of like wrestling and just how like the world actually work, like how that world works. It's really, really impressive, just like what those guys go through on a daily basis, their like schedules and everything. So it just gave me a completely different understanding of that, and it made me respect it a lot more.
Yeah, when you see that, I know you don't want to think post-career yet, but with your personality, with your size, I mean, you could be a natural at that. Is that something you think about?
Could have a lot of fun. That's a lot more bumps and bruises,
Yeah.
but you know, hey, we'll see how it gets. You know, after I'm done playing.
No
You think it's
off-season.
more bumps and bruises than the NFL?
Well, that's year round. Think about it.
Yeah, there's no
Like,
there's no off-season.
There's no off season. You're traveling weekly, every single week, and you're jumping from the top rope onto the floor that's 10 feet below you. That's a lot of going on. You know, that's not like some days, yeah, you feel great, but some days you get hit a lot. It's very similar to the NFL. That's why I like it.
Sure.
They kind of carry crossover.
When you and the rest of your teammates went to WrestleMania recently,
Oh yeah,
No, they went to SmackDown.
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 They were SmackDown.
I went to WrestleMania recently. That was fun.
Yeah,
too.
also.
was there ever a moment where you thought, I'd like to jump in the ring right now and do something?
Well, I was thinking about it, and then I mean, I would never, cross that barrier because that's their place. So if I got invited, of course I would. But Big E ran over and crossbody checked me. I didn't see that one coming. That was pretty fun. Yeah,
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, no, I got all of that. He hit me pretty hard. I was like, oh my goodness, wow, that's awesome. But that was a pretty special moment.
Have you thought about what your finishing move would be in the ring?
Finishing move. Wow, that's a good one.
Apparently not.
No, see, like I said, like things coming to me, but I got to do the Stone Cold Stunner one time in a ring. My PR staff, I didn't tell them about that prior, so they were slightly irked with me, but I didn't. I was good with that, so it was okay.
I'm sure coach, GM, everybody
Yeah.
affiliated with the Niners would love to see you doing those moves in the ring.
You wanted me to do a front flip? Yeah, man, off the top rope.
Take a bump. No
Sure,
big
why
deal.
not?
Nice, nice.
No, but that was really fun. The Stunner would definitely be one of the first ones, though.
Okay.
It's just iconic.
I mean, you got to come up with your own thing.
I'll
If you're going to be
figure-
regular. You're gonna.
I'd figure one
has
out.
to be. You have to have football involved in some way. Maybe you start in a 3-point stance.
That's not bad. I like that. I like things where like you pick people up and kind of spin them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think that stuff's
like
really
F5, things like that.
cool. I like the things that make you look big and strong. It's fun.
Makes a lot of sense.
It's
What
fun.
was it like for you though when you? I mean, I know you came off the field, you did your Rock reference, and then he tweeted at you.
That was pretty
I mean,
cool.
like, how crazy is that for you to realize that, like, you're starting to succeed on a level in which the Rock is now, like, noticing you? That's got to be weird, right?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up watching The Rock, whether it was on like The Mummy. Remember, he was like the
Yeah.
Scorpion King.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
I love that. Like, I love The Rock since I was a kid. And so just being able to have that interaction was definitely special for me. It's something I'll definitely never forget. I mean, he's a legend, and when you get to hear from like a person that you're definitely a huge fan of, it means a lot.
Yeah.
Let's go to another well-known character because
All right.
I understand from The Rock. You've got a tattoo of the Joker
Yes.
on your forearm.
That is epic.
And this is not a small tattoo.
No.
And from what I read, you decided to do this the day before your wedding to get
Yeah.
this tattoo, and so
Yeah.
you were bleeding during like.
I had to put saran wrap it under my shirt so it wouldn't bleed through my shirt.
What's wrong with you?
A lot of things. I won't argue that. Come on.
So can you do the Joker laugh on command?
Oh no. Yeah, that's on Sundays only. You guys, Richburg always hears me do it too. I don't mean to do it. It just kind of comes out.
So that's one of the
sometimes.
switches.
Yeah, the tattoo is a switch for sure.
Nice.
Well, who gets a tattoo of the Joker? This is for life,
Yeah, I know.
George. This is why the Joker?
So it was a conversation I was having with my father, and he always talked about some athletes have alter egos, like the state of mind you get into, like, to play your sport. And Bo Jackson had one. There's like athletes all around the world that kind of have like the switch they flip. And so I was singing. The Joker's kind of been something that's resonated me since really since the movie came out. But really, it was my junior year at Iowa when we went 12-2, like our 12-0 streak. I kind of like, this is kind of like the character I tried to unleash, and it just kind of stuck with me and stuck with me and stuck with me. And then I'm a big guy so I used to, like, on my wrist tape, I draw a circle. It's like a reset button. Like, if you have a bad play, hey, reset it, don't snowball. Kind of my reset button as well. If you ever see me slap my forearm, that's me resetting.
Wow.
Interesting.
Interesting.
That's
physical cues help me out a lot.
That's a deep psychological anchor, actually.
Very much so.
What are the qualities of the Joker? You could be You could have had Batman. You could have had Superman.
Yeah.
What is it about the Joker that resonates with you?
The chaos. Like my quote. I like to play with a little bit of chaos, and just how he always orchestrates everything. It's kind of by accident, but at the same time, he has a purpose behind everything he does. His quote was, he's like a dog chasing cop cars. He doesn't know what he'd do with it. I kind of feel the same way. Like, but at the same time, I have a plan that when I get the ball, I'm going to try to run through your face. It's kind of all ties together for me.
Gotcha. I like that's a good quote.
I like the reset button thing.
Oh, you want to get another piece of chicken there?
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I mean, it's warm and tasty right now.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm so ready for all
the
this.
The podcast is pretty much warm and tasty all the time. I'd like to believe that.
Sweet and savory.
Yeah, sweet and savory,
that's even
warm
better.
and tasty.
That's even better. We should just put him in charge of all of our catchphrases.
I know. We need better catchphrases. We need to come up with nicknames. We don't have any nicknames. We've got like 5 at this point.
It's early, though.
It is early.
Yeah.
It's all right.
So, is it true that during your honeymoon you wanted to cut it short? You were in Cabo because you were unhappy with the facilities. The weight room was not up to par at the hotel. Is that true? Come on, man.
I can do like 3 or 4 days max without having like an intense training session in the off season before I feel like people are getting ahead of me. Because everyone, how many tight ends are there in the NFL? Like, really, think about it. There's 32
good ones, or
there's 32 teams.
Okay.
Each team, let's just say, has 2 or 3 on their roster,
Yeah.
right? So you're under 100 guys in the NFL.
right?
How many college tight ends would love to be the starting tight end of the San Francisco 49ers?
Zillion.
How many high school kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, all of them.
I don't want. So I always feel like I have to stay ahead of everybody.
So do you envision they're all working out while you're sitting on the beach
100%.
with your wife?
I envision 100,000 people trying to take my job. And so that's kind of, I refuse to let that happen.
So what happened with the gym, and what did you do? You could do body weight exercises.
No, I did.
You
I did.
You don't have to just lift,
Luckily, I have a great strength coach back in Nashville that he gave me like a full week-long thing. And so I FaceTimed him, show him the weight room, everything that I had, and I had like a hill on the beach and stuff. So I got my workouts in.
Okay.
I was just slightly anxious because I couldn't like squat and stuff.
Yeah,
It was
most
tough.
hotel
When
gyms.
I walked in and like they had a squat rack and they had 2 45-pound plates. I was
Oh, no.
So I was like,
Yeah, I could even squat that.
I was like, this is tough. I was like, I need a little bit more substance here, guys. But it was all right.
I mean,
I made it through. But I was ready to go home like 2 or 3 days early.
trying to
My wife
keep
was
it
mad.
clean, but there's some other workouts you're supposed to do on your honeymoon.
boy.
More cardio and less squatting.
Don't worry, I hit plenty of cardio. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that, man.
Leonard!
Oh, my
Super
God.
producer Leonard is looking for
Evolving
the edit
quickly.
button. A little edit.
Do you have a reset button?
No, yeah,
like George does?
we'll go back and delete that, right? Yeah.
Who's the better athlete, you or Claire? That's his wife, by the way.
Wow.
She played center,
She played
undersized center, like 6 feet tall, maybe at Iowa.
Yeah,
which-
she played the 2, 3, 4, and 5 in her 4 years at Iowa. Yeah, it was pretty impressive. It was really weird. Like all the years that she really played, she had 2 significant knee injuries in college, so she really only played like 2.5 years. But those 2.5 years, other people were hurt, and so she played the 5 in the Big Ten, which is going against those are some big girls. But she did a great job. But yeah, no, I think she might. She says she'll be the better athlete. No chance.
I have a feeling
No chance.
that
Love her to death.
neither
though.
of you are going to be the best athlete in your family once you have kids. You're going to be writing letters.
I hope so. I mean, I can't wait for that. I mean, I can wait.
Yeah.
So give me like 2 years.
Yeah.
But then then I'll be ready for that.
If you like sleep, you might want to wait a little bit.
I'm gonna wait a little bit.
Now, you kind of stalked her in
Yeah,
Iowa.
100%. Yeah.
Oh, so you're openly admitting that you stalked her.
Yeah.
You want to tell
Slightly.
everybody? Tell everybody the story.
Oh, I mean, it started with I saw her like walk across the parking lot. It was like the 2nd or 3rd day of school, and all the athletes at Iowa stayed in the same the dormitory. And I got luckily we had the same like friend group, so I kind of interacted through that just because athletes, hang out with athletes. And it took me 6 months, but friend zoned it, and I made it through, and I tricked her into marrying me 6 years later.
It's hard to go from friend zone to husband.
Trust me, it was tough. She was hard. She was a hard one to crack, but hey, I tricked her, and now she's stuck with me.
Did you have a conversation of like, I don't want to be just your friend?
Oh yeah, no, it actually, it was it was, the funniest thing is like the first like legit date we ever went on, like not being friends, was the 49ers versus the Ravens in the Super Bowl.
Oh wow.
We went and got sushi like in the middle of the second quarter. She was like, I don't want to watch football, I want to go get sushi. I was like, I really like you, so okay.
And then didn't the power go out? Was that a good opportunity for you?
Well, luckily the power went out, so then I ate my sushi and I got to go back and I watched the game. But yeah, that was like my first real date with her, was the 49ers in the Super Bowl.
Well, that's
crazy.
Yeah, coincidence, right?
Yeah.
Weird.
At that point, you had no idea. Did you dream like, oh, I'd love to play for these guys?
I had no clue.
Okay.
I was just wanting to get my name called on one of those days.
Sure. Claire was quoted as saying that you have a lot of wild ideas, like the Joker tattoo, that you don't go through with. That like this, you obviously did.
Yeah.
What is the number one idea? If you have, I know you have talking points. God, you got. Well, look at all the notes you have. You have way more notes than I have for this. You really prepped much harder for this interview than I did. But
I'm always prepped.
Yeah. But what idea do you have?
I can't share those with you.
Oh, come on.
Oh my goodness.
It's a podcast.
No, I'm pretty sure. Like, so if I bring it up and she just vetoes it, I just like flush it. I'm just like, all right, next one. That's kind of how it is. I don't really, but there are some ideas I've thrown out there that I was like, yeah, I've had better ideas.
Like, and is this football related end zone celebration, or
no,
is it more just I want to see if I could jump over a car, or
yeah,
like a moving vehicle?
I've been there before.
You could, could you think you could do like the stuntman thing where the car is coming at you and you just like
vertical
jump in the car?
I'm not Marquise Goodwin, but I wish. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
no, I wish.
He's super fast.
He's super fast.
Yeah.
I saw him walk. So this is a fun story just about Marquise. He was walking off the football field after practice one time, and during camp they have like a little spot set up for the families to come watch, right in the corner. And there's just one of those rope fences, right? They have like at movie theaters and stuff like that. He's walking and just without bending his legs, just jumped over it. And like all calf muscle, just leaped.
How high was the thing?
3.5 feet. I mean, he didn't bend his knees.
He just
wow.
He like levitated over it and landed. And we're like, wait, can you do that again? He's like, yeah, sure. Goes underneath it and just like turns around and looks at us. His knees don't bend. Like he just levitated over it. And we're just like, it was literally like a magic trick.
Wow.
One of the most athletically gifted people ever. Sorry, but that's a fun story.
That's incredible.
Is it Zay Jones, the receiver?
Zay Jones, he's on the Raiders now.
Receiver.
But he fell down and he got up, and it looked like he levitated up. Yeah, that was one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, like Marquise does stuff like that all the time. It's not fair.
Man.
He also we'll go out for walkthrough, and like when they say walkthrough, I walk through. Keith is out there in tennis shoes, like running at what would be my full speed, and he's like casually jogging. It's like slow down.
Like one of the fastest guys on the planet.
Yeah, he's amazing. It's incredible.
How's the chicken there?
It's actually this is honey sesame.
Honey sesame.
Yeah, this is amazing.
But you want to give your favorite order since part of Panda Express.
Part
of this deal is Panda Express.
But you can't get the honey sesame chicken breast all the time, right?
So
that's one of your favorites.
So, for like the last 2 years, I've always been saying like honey sesame is it's one of my favorites by far.
Mm-hmm.
But it's seasonal, so if it's not in, you gotta go in there, and the first thing you gotta sample the honey walnut shrimp, because when it's really good, there's nothing better than on the menu. Like it's so good, but I only get it when it's perfect. I'm really picky that way. But then you gotta go. Fried rice, chow mein.
Fork for this.
Get the orange chicken. You don't need a fork. You're fine.
I just don't want to touch them all.
Get the orange chicken in there. And then if honey sesame is available, you get honey sesame. If not, you either got to go sweet and fire or Shanghai steak is two of my other favorites. Sweet and fire is really good, though. That's that's underrated.
Did you mention the fried rice?
Oh, yeah. Lo mein, fried rice, double. Okay. You got to mix those together. And then if you're feeling really hungry, you can just get the triple entree, and that's when you throw in the honey walnut shrimp.
This is expert level.
Like I said, I've been to Panda Express almost once a week for like 8 years.
I like to just get orange chicken, mix it up with the fried rice, and just go.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just ready to go.
We should actually probably touch on a little bit more football in addition to Panda Express.
Please.
But, what's the upside for you guys? What's the a lot of people would say we didn't expect the Niners to be in first place and beating the Rams and all this stuff. Do you think about 2 months from now playing in an NFC Championship game, or is it we got to go 1-0 this week, gentlemen?
Well, so the nice thing about that is I played at Iowa for 5 years, and pretty old school. So one thing we always talk about, one game at a time and don't look forward. And I mean, honestly, I think we have the Redskins this week, and I think it's the Panthers next week. Like I'm very one game at a time.
So you don't even look at the rest of the schedule.
Not worth it.
Okay.
I mean, there's distractions. I know when we play the Panthers, it's National Tight End Day, which is going to be a cool thing for us. Nice. Christian McCaffrey is a friend of mine, so I get to see him. But I mean, that it doesn't apply to me at all this week, and so I just try to keep it as I try to not look ahead at the schedule at all as much as I can.
I know, idiots like us. I think I picked you for 6 wins. He had 7. So how much does that put a chip on your shoulder
for bringing that up?
When
that's a bus
when
fine.
When stupid people like us are so unbelievably wrong, how fun is it to rub it in everyone's face?
It's always fun, prove people wrong and stuff like that.
Because there's been a lot of wrong people about you guys.
That's all right. I'm pretty sure only one person picked us to beat the Rams on Sunday.
Yeah.
It's all right, though. I think really the most fun is just, you have that, but when you have a group of guys like we have in our locker room and the character and just like I said, the group of guys we have and winning with those guys, it just, when you have such a close locker room and everyone's friends, it makes winning so much sweeter. And even last year, we were losing games, but we had such a good locker room. You had no one pointing fingers, no one was yelling at each other, stuff like that. Guys were hey, you need to do better, or you need to do this, but it wasn't it's your fault, nothing like this. We had such a good locker room, and losing's not fun, but we were so close that it made us stronger. And then we kept almost the entire same roster, minus the rookies are they're doing great, but when you have that group of guys, that core group, and you're winning, it's just so much more fun, and it's awesome.
I saw a video you were talking about just how perfect Jimmy G's chin line is, etc. But I mean, for real, that guy, all he does is win.
Yeah.
So what is it about him that just really? I mean, he's just a winner. Period.
The best thing, the best Jimmy G story I have is so he got traded to us, and he was the number 2 guy because he didn't know the playbook or anything like that, right? And so when they finally get to start after, I guess first start was, I want to say the Texans or the Bears, I can't remember. But we're on the sideline, and he said we had a drive, and he comes down and he's started saying something, and I swear every single head on the entire sideline, whether it was coaches, trainers, equipment staff, players, everyone snapped and just looked at him, and this the leadership and the authority that he carries, and that was his 3rd week there. It's just so natural, and it just, everyone was hey, we can do this. We're gonna get this win, and then, hey, we go out and we win in the Chicago Stadium, and then we won 5 games in a row with Jimmy. And so when you have that type of leadership that's just natural, I mean, then you just add the winning with it. I mean, he's just really good at what he does.
But doesn't every quarterback get in the huddle and go, okay, guys, we're going to march right down the field. We're going to
Yes and no. And everyone's different too. I played with I'm going to CJ Beathard. I'm going on year 8 with him. We're in this is our 8th year in a row together. And I love being in the huddle with CJ. But everything, CJ's different than Nick Mullins. Nick Mullins is different than Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo is different than Brian Hoyer. They're all just different. And just like I said, one of the things that Jimmy does really well is just the voice that he carries. It gets people's attention.
All right, we should just let him eat now.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask one more thing.
Things.
Speaking of CJ Beathard, I know on your bye week, you guys visited the Children's Hospital. I saw this photo of you.
Yep.
And I mean, that thing hit home to me, because I'm going to show you this. This is what my daughter looked like after she was born. She had heart surgery, and that just looks exactly like that kid you were visiting. So how did that come about? And I mean, what does it mean for you to kind of lift the spirits of people like that when they need it?
What's so awesome is what Iowa does, with the wave after the first quarter, and the Children's Hospital is right there. And what was unfortunate was it was finished built my rookie year, so I didn't get to participate in the wave as a player. But when I got to go back my rookie year and get to participate in it, I was wow, this is really special. And then this past time when we went back, it was my wife Claire's idea. She's hey, we should try to get something up with the Children's Hospital, because she loves the Children's Hospital. She did so much stuff there with basketball, and so we had it set up. And I mean, so it was me, CJ, my wife, and his girlfriend. So we all got to go, and just being able to interact with kids at any level, just trying to brighten their day at all. I mean, it's amazing, because what they're going through is 10 times worse than anything that I'll ever go through my entire life. And so if I can just be a small light in their day that will give them a smile, then that's all I need to do. And it was so cool. I met a kid there that he was born and raised, and he was born in San Francisco. Diehard Niners fan, lives in Iowa now, and so it was really cool to meet him. Got to give him some trading cards, and I mean, he was just like, he was so excited and so happy. And actually, I got his address, so we're starting to send him a jersey too. So
nice.
it just, I mean, like, just to see his smile, and he was like, I mean, that was like the best part of his day. So if I can do that, and as much as I can, that's all that matters.
It's great, man. Yeah, I'm glad we brought you lunch. You deserve it. You've brightened our day.
Yes.
I'll tell you that
appreciate
much.
A pleasure meeting you, and we'll do this again with probably a lot more Panda Express.
Oh, I mean, as long as there's honey sesame here, because you get your veggies and you get your your chicken. It's so good.
It's about nutrition, George. It's about nutrition.
This is organic
have
chicken.
forks over
This is
there,
the
too.
good chicken too, and it's slightly breaded too. So like, it's kind of a lighter feel too. That's why I like it.
Perfect.
And I could eat this whole thing right now with my
Go
fingers.
for it. You know what? We're done, so you can eat
We're
as
gonna wrap.
much
We're gonna have
as
our
you
lunch
want.
now. Everyone's hungry.
Thanks, man. Well, now your hands are all.
Sorry.
He's all thicky and stuff.
That's all right.
Thank you, George.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, guys.
So special thanks to George Kittle, who was fantastic and loved the orange chicken. I'm just thinking, stop me, if I'm crazy here, but Panda Express, they do corporate sponsorship. That's how they're tied together with George Kittle. The With Authority podcast needs a corporate sponsor. To me, it feels like orange chicken and fried rice. I mean, they just go perfectly together.
Yeah, I don't know why Panda Express wouldn't want to get behind this.
Way behind or far away from this. But you were going to explain why you have the mask.
Yeah, so this is one of my few Lucha Libre masks, believe it or not, and I dug it up today because I thought it would be really funny to do an open for a podcast where I surprised George Kittle in the Lucha Libre mask with the lunch, but he had to get treatment, and so he was a little bit late, and we kind of had to rush to get the podcast going. So I wasn't able to wear the mask, but I felt like I should probably wear it for the open and close of the podcast, at the very least.
So from now on, should we address you as Uno Cuerno, one horn,
Unless
one
somebody-
horn Pratt?
Unless the Young Bucks come back and rip off my other horn.
Yeah.
That'd be very sad.
Well, yeah. If you're hornless, it's not the way you want to go out. I think it's a good time for us to go out.
Let's go out. Let's wrap this up. If you're enjoying this podcast
Yeah.
on YouTube, please subscribe on
Please.
iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify. We're even on Google Play for you Android users. We've been getting a lot of great response, a lot of comments, a lot of views on YouTube. You can listen to the podcast too when you're in your commute,
Driving.
working out like George Kittle on his honeymoon, or any of those other things.
I doubt that he was listening to us at that point in his life. Anyway, let's just say for Uno Cuerno.
That's my taunt.
Yeah, that's ferocious. And I'm Larry Beil. Aloha with your orange chicken.
Panda Express.
With authority.